Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kalu and I'm really happy that you're here with me today. Thank you so much for tuning in. In today's video, I would like to discuss a topic that is very close to my heart, something that I've been wanting to share with you for a while now, but I've just been very nervous about. I wasn't really sure how to start and I've been putting it off for some time now, but I feel like there's no time like the present. So today is the day that we have this conversation. And the conversation is about therapy. Yes, you heard right. Therapy. Now, the reason why I've been nervous about it, about bringing it up or having this discussion, is that there's still quite a lot of stigma around therapy and a lot of ignorance at that. So, I just didn't know where to start, like I said. But, anyways, I'll share my experience with you and hopefully it inspires somebody to go for therapy, somebody that might be in need. Therapy is a beautiful journey, I will say. And perhaps you're wondering how I ended up in therapy. As you might have guessed, yes, I am in therapy. Growing up as a Namibian child, there wasn't really conversation about therapy in my household. And I think this rings true for so many other young Namibians. It's not a topic that is discussed at home. If you do discuss it at home, I'm really happy for you, and you are one of the lucky ones. Because growing up, I thought that psychologists were for mentally unstable people, that you had to have a mental break in order to see a psychologist. But that has completely changed now that I have embarked on this journey of therapy. So I started my journey early last year. I was going through quite a lot, and you know, I tried to speak to my friends, but I felt like I wasn't being heard. And also, the thing with people and your friends is people speak to you from their point of experience, and they sort of want to extend their experiences to you, they want to project things onto you. And it can be a bit difficult, because they might not necessarily understand where you're coming from, how you are feeling, and how those feelings impact you. So I remember one of my friends that I spoke to before I started going to therapy. She asked why it was taking me so long to process something, and it felt like there was a bit of frustration there because she had this expectation that I should have dealt with this thing by now. But, you know, we all deal differently, we feel differently, our experiences are different. So you can't exactly expect the next person to feel the same way or experience the same event the same way you do. I was overwhelmed and I felt like there wasn't somebody I could speak to that could really understand. I needed an ear that, would just listen to me, that wouldn't pass judgment. And I think it was a stroke of luck that I felt that I needed to speak to somebody that understands human behavior. So I went to my GP and I spoke to him briefly about what I was going through, but I didn't feel comfortable talking to him about what I was going through. So he referred me to a psychologist here in Swakopmund, but she was unavailable. So she sent me a list of the different places that I could contact, where I could find social workers, psychologists, and so forth. So I went down that list and I got an appointment with a psychologist here in Swakopmund. That didn't work out. It's possible that you might meet a psychologist and they are not the right fit for you. So I had that appointment that didn't work out for me. And then I started having conversations with some of my friends that are in therapy. And I asked them who their psychologists are. And there was one name that kept popping up. So naturally, I contacted this lady, and she's now my psychologist, the most amazing psychologist ever. She understands me, she can relate to me, and I think that's what makes it easier for me. So, anyways, enough of my ramblings. So, my journey with therapy, how it has transformed me over the past year that I've been in therapy. First and foremost, I have fallen in love with myself. And to put this in easier terms, I've discovered that I am worthy of the love that I was so desperately trying to give others. I am now giving that love to myself. And this is something that I learned in therapy. I am now more in touch with my feelings. I acknowledge my feelings. I do not ignore them. I do not suppress them. So I'm much more aware of my feelings, let me say. And I'm now much better at expressing myself. I used to have a shaky voice. I was able to express myself, but not always. You know, there were times that I was scared of saying how I felt because of the reaction that I would get. So I would keep quiet, but not anymore. I'm able to set boundaries as well. So I'm able to tell people what I do like and do not like. And, you know, just drawing a clear line that you don't overstep here. I am less reactive and more responsive. I don't just react to things. I take my time and I ask myself why I would feel a certain way about something. And so I'm not out fighting the world anymore. I used to be hot-tempered. I was ready for a fight any day. But now I'm much more calmer. Like I said, I ask myself why. Why do I feel this way? And what about this situation makes me feel this way? So I'm not reacting, I'm responding to situations. It's become easier for me to accept disappointments because the truth is, in life, you know, the going is not always good, but it's also not always bad. There's a balance between good and bad. You have good days and you have bad days. You win some and you lose some, but you can't spend the rest of your life moping about your losses. It's easier for me to accept disappointment now. I don't pine over it anymore. I've accepted that it's a part of life and I take it in my stride. I've accepted my experiences, the good and the bad, but in this case, mostly the bad, because I carried a lot of shame with me throughout my life. There are some experiences that I went through and I never even shared with any of my friends until I got into therapy and I opened up to my psychologist. And those experiences don't have a hold on me anymore. I've accepted that it's happened and I've moved past it. And I think it has freed me somehow. And with that, I have found inner peace and so much happiness. I'm not carrying around this burden with me anymore. I freed myself from it. And all this was possible through therapy. I'm open and honest with myself and others. And I think this is one of the big lessons that I've learned through therapy. Honesty. Honesty is key. I'm very, very honest with myself, like I said, and those around me. I'm not trying to please anyone. So you won't find me doing something I don't want to do. So if I'm not in the mood of doing something, I'm going to say it. If I'm uncomfortable about something, I'm going to say it. I'm not sugarcoating anything. I am, being honest, but I'm not being hurtful in my honesty. I am just being straightforward about it, but also being considerate of other people's feelings. So if you ask me to do something today and I'm tired, I'm going to tell you I'm tired. I can't do it. I will not go out if I don't really want to go out. I'm not going to see somebody I don't want to see. I'm not going to take somebody's call if I don't want to speak to them. So, yeah, and I will also not be scared to tell them when I see them or when I speak to them that, I didn't feel like talking to you. That's it. So, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not carrying around shame. I, in fact, have been able to leave my comfort zone. A prime example of that is me starting this YouTube channel. So this is something that I've wanted to do for a very long time, but I was so nervous about it. I was so scared of doing it. In fact, I kept telling myself that I won't do good at it. I convinced myself that I couldn't edit and all that. So I spent so much time up in my head discouraging myself, but I've moved past that. Here we are. I am sitting here talking to you. I'm not concerned about not getting all that many views. I feel one view is one view enough. You know, I I am not thinking that this is gonna be an overnight hit because it takes time, and I am still in the process of learning, of being comfortable with sitting in front of the camera and talking to you. Trust me. I get nervous. You probably don't pick it up in my videos, but most of the times I'm quite nervous about what I'm doing. And okay, right now I'm not nervous anymore, but when I started this video, I was really, really nervous because, like I say, bringing this topic up was a really big deal for me, but it's something that I've wanted to do for a very, very long time, and there really isn't a better time like the present. So that's why today we're sitting here having this conversation about therapy, and I really hope that it changes somebody's life. I'm really not concerned about what other people think of me because really that's their problem. Those are their thoughts. They're the ones that are losing time over these thoughts. As long as they're not telling me about it, I'm good. And if anybody tries to dim my light, I will tell them off, because some people are so broken in themselves that they cannot allow you to be yourself. It hurts them so much that you are comfortable in your own skin and they want to fill you up with insecurities and whatnot. I don't tolerate that. I do not tolerate that. I do not try to dim anybody's light, and I do not expect anybody to try and dim mine. I'm really excited about life since I started therapy. Not that I wasn't excited about life. I've always been a happy person, or I've always cultivated my own happiness, and I always tell people that happiness is an inside job, and I truly believe that. But now, learning so much about myself, because therapy is basically a journey of self-discovery, and I've discovered so much about myself, so many aspects about myself, so many things to love about myself, things that I turned a blind eye to because I was so focused on pleasing other people before. But now the focus is on me, and I am doing the things that make me happy, that I enjoy. I'm learning who I really am outside of everybody else, outside of my friends, family, and everybody, colleagues, and all the different aspects of my life. So it's really, really exciting. I can't find the words for it, but it's almost like a child experiencing new things for the first time. The excitement of a child stepping on sand or discovering grass, watching bubbles float through the air. That's how it feels for me right now. That's how I feel about my life at the moment. And this was unlocked in therapy. Now, I need to say this at this point. As exciting as it is, the healing process is not a straightforward process. Okay, that's not the right term. It's not a linear process. So it's not a straightforward thing. Okay, I'm still saying straightforward. Oh my gosh, I don't know, but I hope you understand what I mean. So it's not a straight road. It's got a lot of ups and downs. You'll have good days and bad days. It doesn't mean because you're in therapy and you're healing, you are this happy-go-lucky person. You will experience some days that are low and some days that are high. But I always say this to people, just embrace it. Embrace it as it comes. Every single day, take it as it is. And it gets better. It gets better as time goes. I'm much more conscious of my words and my actions. Yeah, I think you would have picked that up. When I was trying to talk about healing not being a linear process. So I was trying to find the right term for that. I think the one thing that scares a lot of people about therapy is the fact that you need to face, I call them demons. You need to face these things that you've kept hidden for so long, things that have terrified you so much that you've locked them away. Those terrible experiences that you might have had in your life. And I must tell you now that that is one of the most liberating things about therapy. Facing those demons in there. It's a painful process, I must admit. I faced my demons and I cried through it. But as the tears were flowing, I was being released from the shackles of those deep dark secrets that I was carrying around with me. And I am truly happy and grateful that I was able to share this experience with an amazing psychologist and move past it. So I'm no longer shackled down by my past experiences. Yes, they happened. Yes, I went through it. It was unfair, but I'm keeping my head up. It's in the past. It does not shape me. So I'm shaping myself. I'm shaping my future. Yes. And so the thing about therapy is you must want to do it. And I would like to ask you at this point to really consider it before you do it, because it's not something that you should take lightly. It's a serious process, but a beautiful, very, very beautiful process. It's a freeing experience. You gain so much freedom, I think. And it's just absolutely beautiful. But you must want it for yourself. Don't do it for anybody else. Do it for yourself, because you will be on this journey alone. Yes, you'll have your friends and family around you, but a great deal of it you will have to go through alone. So you must really want it, and you must not be scared. It is not a scary process. It is a beautiful process, like I said. Conquering your darkest fears, freeing yourself from this darkness you might be carrying around, and understanding yourself, understanding how your experiences have shaped your life so far, and then being able to find new ways of carrying on in life. It's such an amazing experience, and I hope that a lot of people get to experience it, because our past should not necessarily determine our future. So yeah. So yes, that was me for today. I hope that you enjoyed this little chat with me. I would like to have more conversations about it. If you're interested, please let me know. Drop me a comment. Give this video a thumbs up. I use medical aid for my therapy sessions, but I will do some research. I know that the government also has some psychologists and social workers, so I'm just going to do a bit of research for those that might need but cannot necessarily afford the prices of the psychologists in the private sector. So yes, we've had this conversation. It is done. Yes, and I hope it was worth this time that we spent together. Thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video.